so nice to see you all. Yeah, I am identifying as Kirsty today. Look what happens if I turn my video off. Ah! So I become Kirsty for a second. She is here with us. She's here with us in spirit, but also on WhatsApp. She's currently flying between Doha and London after working in Asia last week. So yeah, we've had some messages this morning, but I know she's horrendously jet lagged because her message to us all this morning was if you see this. Hello, everyone. How are you having a brilliant morning? Miss you all. Which isn't quite English. So I know that she's traveling and her brain's doing that weird fog. But you got me instead, subbing in for the second time this year. I'm not going to lie, I quite like it. We are not changing anything up. We are going for exactly the same structure, which means I'm going to start with a poem and then we're going to do a couple of minutes silence, 90 seconds silence or so, he says, just grabbing a 90-second timer so that can happen easily. And pause. Good. So here is the poem. It's from the book that Kirsty introduced me to, which is The Calm Centre by Stephen Taylor. And it's called, as we go into back to school time and back to work after a summer off, or a summer slower, it's called Time to Stop Striving. It's time to stop striving, to stop hurtling forward like a blinkered horse. It's time to stop pushing, like a mad-eyed explorer who won't admit defeat, convinced the only reason he can forge ahead is that he's not trying hard enough. It's time to give up the endless struggle to become and accept that this is all there is. There's nothing more to gain or lose. That if this moment isn't good enough, then no moment ever will be. That if you can't make peace with this moment now, then you'll always be at war. It's time to stop trying, to bend the world to your will, to twist destiny to your own desires, but to allow life to unfold with slow, natural grace. Like spring, it's time to stop swimming and let the river carry you. Why strive so hard when you can flow so easily? And back in the room when you're ready. So thanks for coming, everyone. Did I see a first meeting in this community? Ellie, hello. Anyone else first time? Harry, waving. Jenny, Carl, welcome, welcome. Manami, welcome, welcome. It is great to have you all here for the first time. Yes, we always start with a little poem and a little reflective pause just to ground ourselves. The theme for today that we are working on as a community of facilitators, being here already is part of it, but it's all around personal development and professional development. It's all around what are you doing for you? What are you doing for your business? And as a network, it's a chance for us to share what we're each doing and learn from each other, maybe get a bit of inspiration from what someone else is doing in our network in order to grow our skills as facilitators and as beings. So that's the theme. Do join in, do come off mute whenever you feel like it, and put your voice in the room. It's kind of when Kirsty asked me to step in September, she was like, "So what are you going to do?" And I was like, "Well, it's September. My kids will be going back to school. Are we going back to work again?" I don't have August off. I sort of take a break in the summer. I started probably about 3 years ago. Um, and it was just a no-brainer for me. My kids are like my two boys, 8 and 10. So when they're off in the summer, my wife has a job, so she only gets to take proper holidays like a proper grown-up. And I get to go, oh, actually, it's useful if I have a bit more time to be with them and um, to take a bit more time for myself when the weather's nice. So yeah, I slow down properly into the summer. So it's for me, I don't know about you guys, but for me, it's definitely a new start as we go back into September. I also think it's a new start because I always chunk the year. For me, it goes back to my business development start of my career. I always think about the year as terms of 3 sprints. Um, so it was always when I was working with people and selling training, I would think, what can I get done between September and Christmas? What can I get done between January and Easter? And what can I get done between Easter and the summer break? So it was always kind of in my mind this time frame. Oh, Carly, welcome to the world. Welcome to the world of freelancing. Third day. Congratulations. You have made it to the other side. Um, you're in the right place. Um, so before we get totally into what we're going to do is we're going to go and have conversations about our personal development. I think we'll go trios rather than pairs. We often do pairs on this kind of meeting, but I think we'll go trios because I think it would be you get to learn a bit more about other people and you get to share more with other people. So we'll go into trio breakout rooms in a bit to talk about our personal development journey, and then we'll come back and share what amazed us and what was brilliant and what we learned. But before we do that, I do have a bit of a School of Facilitation notice board because if I leave it to the end, people will be like, I've got to run to my 10 o'clock. So School of Facilitation notice board starts with the number one thing is SoFest. Who are the regulars here who know about SoFest? Who wants to come off mute and say something about SoFest? Just do it. You can all do it. What do you know about it so far?
I've
Well,
signed up for the newsletter.
signed up for the newsletter. Brilliant. You're getting the newsletter, Joanna.
I am, I think. Yes, had one, have I? I mean, after the initial thing.
Brilliant. So what is
Mhm.
SoFest as a concept? What is it?
Now you put me on the spot.
Yeah.
It's a thing that Kirsty's been thinking about a while, gathering people together
Yeah.
to celebrate and to share and to do what School of Facilitation does really, which is
Yeah.
just to learn together. It's kind of a festival of facilitation, if you like, or facilitators, a celebration and a meeting and a connecting. I'm not sure that the agenda's all there yet. It's being
No, we're getting to
formed.
co-create it, right? So
Yeah, there has been some call out, what do you want, sort of thing.
yes.
Mm.
And also we will be the content as well, right? So we'll be running sessions for each other, and it's a chance for us to hang out in a field for 2 or 3 days and be facilitators in community. So rather than all this online stuff, we're going to do it face to face together.
In a
Um,
field.
in a field, yes. That's been a main, yeah, because it's got to have that like festival vibe. The idea is that it's festival. I know there'll be, I mean, I'm very much on the side of going, and then there'll be a silent disco, and then there'll be something else, and then there'll be, so it's, facilitation, festival, party, learning experience blended as one. June 2025. Is it? I want to say 10th to the 12th. I feel like someone's going to beat me to putting a link to it in the chat. So I'll just drop that as a hint and see who gets there first.
Yeah, it definitely is, Phil. It's definitely the 10th to the 12th.
10th to the 12th of June. It's
Yeah.
already in my diary.
Yeah.
Tickets are not yet on sale, but it's going to be our first time of doing something like that. So that's going to be brilliant. So that's the first one for the notice board. Get involved, follow the story of SoFest coming. And there is also an updated website coming. If you go to School of Facilitation, you might see an updated website. In fact, I can see it now. It looks different. We also have this crazy WhatsApp community that's only started. When did we start that? I feel like it was May-ish. Yeah, before the summer. And it's been, I mean, I've found it great. I don't contribute very often, but there's all different kinds of conversations going on in the community around, if you're looking for a bit of help with some workshop design, if you're looking to promote an event that you're running, if you're looking at market research, if you need a facilitator in a certain region, you can ask about that. There's all kinds of different groups on the WhatsApp community. And I'm just thinking, how do I add people to that or show people how they can join that? I'm gonna say that we will share a link to the School of Facilitation WhatsApp before the end, because I'll work on that while you're in breakout rooms having a chat. What else is on the notice board? Oh, Christmas gathering. That should be on the website. It's probably the big gathering in London. Oh, here we go. Look, I can actually get the link to that instantly. So Christmas gathering is probably the big one of the year that we do. So meeting in London, do a bit of learning, a bit of journaling about the year. We do all kinds of activities around reflecting on your year. And then we're going to have Christmas lunch, optional. We're going to have Christmas lunch because I remember Kirsty always talks about the fact that as solopreneurs, as freelancers, we don't get the Christmas lunch with the office party. Although, sometimes clients invite me, which is nice. But we get to do one just us, which is always nice. And I know I've had a few Christmas parties with a few people here, which is lovely. So that's coming up in December and tickets are available. My final item for the notice board is next month's guest, not guest host. Kirsty will be back. So next month's guest will be a chap called Murray Cowell. Now I've worked with Murray. I don't know if anyone else has come across Murray in his work. Yeah, Nicholas, Lizzie's nodding. So Murray worked as a trainer and training designer in-house and freelance for many, many years. And now focuses purely on helping people like us sell what we do. So he's purely business development specialist. He's purely about building your business, building your impact, and making kind of what you want from your business come to life. And he's going to come and be Kirsty's guest next time. So you'll get your emails about that. But that is sure to be a very powerful one. I always look out for him on LinkedIn because he always posts some really good tips just about having conversations with friends instead of clients. And it's like just a mindset thing that makes stuff works, right? So he is really good, and he's going to be the guest in October. So put it in your diaries, first Friday. Oh, look at that. Richard actually is being mentored by Murray currently and is amazing. Fantastic. So it's Murray Cowell, and maybe Richard, could you put his LinkedIn or something in the chat? There we go. Nicole's on it. Brilliant. Thank you, Nicole. So that's all from the notice board. So I am going to start some breakout rooms. And at that point, I have to remember to pause the recording. And I'm going to give you 3 questions for the breakout rooms. I'll pop them in chat now. And I'll tell you about them. But they should be fairly straightforward. So 3 questions coming here. So the 3 questions for your discussion in the breakout rooms in trios is, what's your personal development plan? Number 1, which I know might be a bit of a, oh, then that's fine. There's no judgment here, but it might be inspiring you to maybe, yeah, open a Word document and write my personal development plan 2024. What is your personal development plan? What do you want to share with other people? What do you want to learn from other people? What are you working on for you and for your business? So it could be about business development skills, it could be marketing, it could be anything, or it could be something more, in this line of work. We can't help others unless we've helped ourselves. So it's, what are you working on to take the splinter out of your eye as you go in to work with others and point out splinters in their eyes. And also I thought actually it could be a bit of a shout out of what is the most powerful, the most impactful, the best personal development you've ever done as a facilitator. And so I'm going to invite you in trios to have a chat about that. And I thought I'd kind of go, well, we need at least kind of 7 minutes each, and maybe even a couple of minutes for changeover. So I'm going to go like 23 minutes, that sounds like, in terms of the breakout rooms in a trio. If you've got any problems, then do just come back and see me. I'll be in the main room. And thank you for letting me know if you need to leave. That's useful. And so maybe go first if you need to leave. Or you'll be invited to join the breakout room. So you can just stay here if you don't want to join, and we can have a 10-minute chat before you go. Okay, so breakout rooms are open. You've got your questions. You know what you're discussing. Everyone good? Awesome. Off you go. Hey, Aaron, did you deliberately not accept because you've got a... No. So welcome back. People still coming back from the breakout rooms, but welcome back, everyone, to our sort of, I guess, finale as we move into the end of the pod. And it's a chance for us to kind of try and share some of that magic that happened in the breakout room. I'm assuming my breakout room was magic. I was with Nick and Ruth, and we had a wonderful time. Speaking for myself, not projecting onto you two. You may have had a terrible time. Who knows? So I thought there was 2 things that I thought I might challenge you with. So feel free to use chat and feel free to come off mute and put your voice in the room. And what I'm going to ask you to do is either tell us about the amazing thing you wanted to share in your breakout room that you still want to share, because it might be, you can put a link in chat. It might be that, Nick, didn't you say there was an invitation to a webinar thing that, so if you've got a link you can share in chat that could be an invitation for others, then please feel free to share it in chat, and feel free to come off mute and tell us about it. But also, the opposite is also true, is that you might have heard something amazing in your breakout room. So please feel free to call someone else out and say, for instance, Camilla, that was brilliant what you told us in the breakout room. You must tell everyone about that thing. So either share your own thing or share someone else's thing, whatever you prefer, and also write in chat at the same time. It's like really bad multiple questions going on there, but what I'm hoping is that when I finish speaking, someone else comes off mute and goes, oh.
I'll do that for you then, Phil. Can't keep me quiet for long. I think something that I probably had always known, but then said it out loud in our group was, I get a little bit of a allergic reaction to the personal development plan because it reminds me of the corporate world. There we go. Ashley's laughing there. And actually what I enjoy most is just emergent learning. something has happened. Oh, what just happened there? What does that mean for me? And what can I take away from the strangest kind of places? At the moment, my daughter's got a broken leg, and I spent 2 weeks in a hospital with her in Corfu. And my way of dealing with that was I wrote a post on LinkedIn about actually how crap I am at asking for help, and actually how it's not a bad thing to do. So yeah, emergent learning, just things, letting things happen, but learning from them. And that doesn't always mean learning because I've done something wrong, just learning, well, what does that mean? Why did I react like that? So there you go.
I love that. I love that. I love the concept of lifelong learners and like hanging on to where the learning shows up for us, rather than the formal learning structure of school or courses or this, that, and the other. That's brilliant. And I'm also really fascinated by the seemingly, I think I'm on like 6 out of the 7 people I've spoken to have mentioned not wanting to plan their learning. So maybe that's a thing. Nick, I'm going to shout you out. Tell us about the you spoke in our breakout room about the best development program.
So I came in late, and hi guys, sorry, didn't see you earlier. I arrived during the breakouts, and I said, what we doing? And they said, oh, one of the questions is, what's the best development program you've ever done? So when I was 19, and I'm now 43, just to give you reference. I did a course called the Landmark Forum. Anyone heard of it? Yeah, a few nods. And at the time, you talk to people about it, it was like, whoa, looking at yourself, and like, that's weird. Like, what are you doing? Whereas now it's much more of a conversation. But it was all about what's possible for people and getting yourself out of the way so that you can, I mean, not yourself, but like your automatic crap out of the way. Ashley's going, yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, like just being able to be empowered in any situation. And and it's really what they talk about is putting your past in the past, because our past is constantly we're constantly recreating our past in our future and expecting our past to come up again. When you think what you know is going to happen tomorrow, you don't really know what's going to happen tomorrow, but it's your past in your brain going, oh, this is what's going to happen. And so it's about being able to create in the space that gets opened up when you can put that stuff behind you. It's very powerful work, and I've done different work with them over the years since then. And sorry, my phone is it's an alarm. But I found it incredible. And yeah, I have ADHD, and my therapists have been blown away by how I've managed that over the years, and a lot of that is to do with the work that I've done with Landmark.
Nice.
And Phil wanted me to extend the invitation, which is I'm on my first seminar that I've done with them ever online, because I've kind of resisted the whole online courses thing, even though I lead them, which is so weird, right? But I didn't want to do personal development online. And the last session is happening on the 18th of September, and it's an opportunity for anyone to come and find out about this work as well. So if anyone's interested, find me on LinkedIn. I'll pop my email in the chat or whatever, and then I can send you an invite as of next Wednesday. It's like a week before I can send you a proper invite from the website, which will have a Zoom link in it and everything. But I'd love for any of you to join me and come and find out about it. It's wonderful.
Oh, that's brilliant. Thank you, Nick. Yeah, please do share, and maybe on the WhatsApp as well, the WhatsApp community.
I'm not in a WhatsApp community. FOMO?
This is crazy. I did find the link to the WhatsApp community, so I can now share it in chat again.
Yeah.
So Nick, you've got to join our WhatsApp community, because there's
just one sentence more of share, which is that it's terrifying for me talking about this in front of all of you, just because when I started talking to people about this stuff when I was 19, the rejection and like, oh, that's weird, that I got from people is still with me every time I talk about it. Just want to acknowledge that.
Yeah, and it's so cool that you can share that.
Yeah.
So amazing. Feel comfortable sharing that with us, and thank you.
Comfortable.
Well, able to.
I trust you guys, right? And it's a great space.
Awesome, awesome. Lots of love in the room for that. All right, who else is coming out? Joanna, you said in chat, learn about I like to think about what I'm learning. So some purposeful noticing and seeking rather than a structured plan. I guess if we think about, certainly in my development, I've done lots of working on me, but the other side of my development as a facilitator has been working on the things that about facilitation. Has anyone got any stories, references, or books around learning about facilitation or that sort of, this game? What have you done so far in that arena? Because that feels like a different angle to it. Feel free to come off mute.
One of the things I was talking about in our group was I did the brain friendly learning course about probably longer, probably about 8-9 years ago. And what I've done loads of learning on facilitation and training since then, but that's the one that's really stuck in my mind. And her and Stella Collins' book on the neuroscience of learning is also very good.
Nice, nice.
Annette, what was the name of the book again that you mentioned?
The Neuroscience of Learning by
Oh,
Stella Collins. Yeah.
And the event, sorry, I missed that as well.
It's all about brain friendly learning.
Brain friendly. There you go. Thank you.
Yeah, sorry. Me probably not talking clearly.
No, my brain.
I think sometimes some of the things we say, some really practical facilitation things are useful. Like here, this pod had somebody who does cartooning. What's her name? I can't remember. That sort of thing. I mean, just some tools to add to the toolbox. It sounds simple, but some can be really powerful at unlocking other styles rather than getting stuck in the same old design, same old. When people come to me, I say, well, what do you want to get out of the day? We could do this, we could do that, and actually have some more tools in the toolbox. That's useful. And that has to be positive, practical learning, really. There's no way to absorb that through reflective practice, But the most powerful facilitative learning I've done is through action learning, being part of an action learning set of action learning facilitators, where we play with the process and challenge each other on facilitation and try and do stuff differently and really learn what works and what doesn't. And also training other facilitators, which is really powerful because they teach me stuff when I trip up. Tripped up quite badly this year. Once I had to go back and apologize to the group and go, that was bad. So if that happened in your group, what would you do? Which was hard and quite a steep learning curve. So actually, I find that facilitating facilitators or with facilitators can also be really powerful, which is part of why this is useful.
Yeah, brilliant. Thanks for sharing, Joanna. Is that a group anyone can join, or is that a group that you do, or what's?
Well, action learning is a specific kind of.
Yeah.
Some people know about it. A kind of a group coaching thing. It's not group coaching, but it's a kind of a system like that.
Yeah.
And it has a specific structure. So I work as an associate with an action learning centre and also on my own as an action learning facilitator. And so it means a group of half a dozen, 6 to 8 people come together to commit to that sort of learning, or there's training to be had. But it's most powerful form of learning I've ever had.
Yeah.
Which is why I continue to do it.
Yeah, I've always found when I've dipped my toe in action learning, I've always found it extremely powerful and really useful.
And it leaks into other things. I use the tools. I use the active listening.
Yeah.
Uninterrupted listening, hard. And better questions, fundamentally.
I realise you're talking about uninterrupted listening just as I'm interrupting you. Note to self. The reason I was interrupting you is because I had two books bubbling in my mind that I wanted to share that have been really powerful for me. One is The Amazing Power or The Surprising Power of Liberating Structures. There's also a website on liberating structures. So in terms of learning about facilitation, liberating structures and the microstructures within how people talk to each other and how you can get people to talk to each other in different ways has been transformative for me. And the other one that I've really loved and learned a lot about working with groups is Time to Think. I forget her name. Someone will tell me her name. Nancy Klein.
Nancy, yeah.
Sorry, came to me just as you unmuted, Rhiannon. Yeah, Nancy Klein's Time to Think is super powerful, especially about the love in listening and the love in group dynamics, which is close to my heart. There's a pun there somewhere. Anyone else? Come on, 3 minutes to go. What else have we got? Books, references, shout outs. What else do you want to share with this wonderful group about facilitation and learning before we close?
I don't know, you're just seeing as no one's talking. You're saying, what do you want to share about facilitation and learning? Like, just I find that every course, like different people you deal with differently. Do you know what I mean? It's like you just got to be open and elastic is the word that came to my mind. Like I've had colleagues say to me, "Oh, you're going to have this person in this course." I'm freelance now, but when I was working for a company for years, you're going to have this person in this course. They're really difficult. Oh, they're really difficult. They're a really difficult person. They just which immediately my brain goes, they're just a person, right? Like I'm seen as the really difficult person in some situations. Do you know what I mean? It's like, it's just, so anyway, so firstly, I never take that with me into the room, you know, to meet the person. And secondly, you just need to approach them differently. Do you know what I mean? That's all that there is. The one I'm thinking of right now was just someone who she loved to ask loads of questions. And my colleague would get, every time she'd kind of interrupt with a question, would get annoyed. Whereas was just like, if you could, this is a great question, but we are going to get to it. If you could save your questions and we will have a chat at the end. And then I had like a one-to-one with her at the end and like, it was great. But like, yeah, that's it. It's just being really generous with people. I think I did customer service before I was a trainer. I was doing customer service jobs for years, or retail, and it's just the same thing, you know, just being great with people and generous with your, you know, I always think you don't know what's going on with them. If someone comes in, someone came into Phones for You when I was like, I was probably about 21, something like that, 2021. Someone came into Phones for You, angry, shouting at all the staff, I want this, I want that, and no one could deal with her. And eventually I just said to her, "Are you all right? Do you want to sit down? Do you need, you know?" And then she just broke down and started telling me about how her aunt had died that morning. And I'd always keep that in mind, because you don't know what's going on with anyone.
Nice.
And so the person you think is really rude could just be really angry about something that's nothing to do with you. Probably is, you know.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you for that story and the idea of just being awesome with people, right? Being great with people is a key part of the job, a key part of the role. So I am going to close our September pod. Thank you so much for joining me, for me standing in, especially to our newbies. Ellie and Carl made it to the end. Congratulations, Manami. Welcome, welcome. It is great to have you join. We will be doing this again, as I said, with a special guest. Murray Cowell, talking about your business development. There will be some tips and some power in there for you. First Friday of the month. I think it's 5th of October, but that's just coming from my brain. So please look up first Friday of the month, put your time off. You deserve it in your world. 4th, darn it, missed it by a day. So 4th of October, we'll be here same time, but Kirsty will be hosting, and we'll have a lot to learn then.